start with UNCW players Addison, Spruill, and Jordon Talley will be joined by Coach Keatts here in just a short while. If we have questions for those guys, go ahead and, again, raise your hand. We'll bring the mic around.
Addison, you guys end up shooting 48%, but it seemed like you missed a lot of those easy ones at the rim.
Yeah.
Do you feel good about the way the offense ran and the shots that you were getting, and why do you think that you guys had some trouble finishing tonight?
We were getting good shots. I feel like we was getting good shots because we was playing within the offense, but I mean, just sometimes the ball just doesn't bounce your way.
Okay, right here. So you can just put that here.
I guess, how do you the press seemed to be getting some balls bouncing around and nobody could get a handle on it. Were they doing something different against the press this time, or was this the same stuff you saw before and it just wasn't working right?
Yeah, they made a few minor adjustments to our press, but we were still speeding them up pretty good, making their non-ball handlers handle the ball. They just did a good job finishing at the rim tonight.
Jordon, there in the second half, it seemed like you made a more concerted effort to kind of be the guy that was going to force the issue on offense and kind of create the plays. How did the mindset change, or kind of the way you were thinking about the offense, after halftime for you personally?
I just took what the defense gave me. I seen a couple driving lanes, and in the first half, my teammates hit a couple shots to open up the lane, so the lanes was there, and I just took it.
Yeah, you can give it.
Addison, I know you said coming up here that it was going to be a disappointment to leave with anything but a championship. What is the feeling now that you guys are heading home?
I mean, it hurts to end your season in the regular season without a championship. We felt like we had the team to win it this year, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's over now. We can't go back and change it.
Okay. You have any more, please? Yeah, you can just keep.
Are you expecting to play another game, whether it's CBI or CIT, and is that something that you guys will be looking forward to?
That's what we're hoping for right now. So whatever they give us, we're going to be ready to take on that challenge.
Okay. You guys need anything else from these? Good? All right. Thank you, guys. Joined by UNCW Head Coach Kevin Keatts. Let's start with a comment from Coach Keatts on the game, and then if you'll raise your hand, we'll bring the microphone around with questions.
Well, let's give Northeastern a lot of credit. It was one of those games that went back and forth. If you look at the stat sheet and you didn't know the score, you would think it was a tie game. As far as what we shot from the field and the three-point line, and also from the free throw line. I thought the difference in the game is that they were more aggressive. They got more rebounds than us. We gave up 12 offensive rebounds, and we gave up 14 points on second chances. And I thought that was the difference in the game. We made our runs. They did a good job making their runs, but just too many opportunities that we left out there by not blocking out.
Okay, question? Go ahead, man.
Yeah, is that effort, or is there, when you're talking about getting those grabbing those rebounds and making sure you box out, or is there something that they were doing or something else that you guys weren't doing that made that hurt tonight?
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't call it effort. I think if anybody's seen this team play, they think, you would say we play with the most effort of anybody. They just did a great job getting to the offensive rebound. And, just that's one of those stats that you can't account for. I thought they did a really good job. I thought they were more aggressive getting rebounds than we were, and that certainly, I thought that was a difference in the game.
Right behind you.
Coach, Northeastern got a big lift from their bench today. How much harder is it to beat them, not only when they have Etherton having a great game, but those guys as well?
Well, listen, that's a very good ball club. Bill does a great job with his team. I mean, when you talk about they've got a first and a second team, all-conference guy. I mean, a very good team. It's one of those things that, I felt like both teams were going back and forth. And like I said, the most alarming thing about it is when you look at the stat sheet, everything is identical to to anything, but the only big difference is we gave up 12 offensive rebounds. You know, they had 34, we had 23. They had 14 second chance points, we had 2. And, you know, certainly I thought that cost us. I mean, we shot the ball well. We did some good things. We were very aggressive, but I thought that they got to the offensive glass a lot more than we did.
Back here to Dan.
Kevin, what did they set up defensively against Freddie and Addison in the second half? Only 4 shots between them in the second half today.
Well, that's a good question, Dan. I just think those guys start pressing. You know, it's one of those things when you're a senior and you know that, you know, you're coming down and it's, you know, one of your final games and all that stuff. I thought they started pressing a little bit. You know, Freddie was a little uncharacteristic of him. If you look at the stat sheet, you know, he didn't take a lot of shots, but he turned to some of those opportunities. He turned it over 6 times, and he's never done that so far this year.
Can you specifically address the game up until halftime?
Oh, the game up until halftime was a great game. It was you know, back and forth. You know, whoever had the ball last, you know, made shots. I told the guys at halftime, you know, one of the things we talked about at halftime is that, you know, just stay consistent because it's going to be a back and forth game, you know, just as the William and Marion Hofstra game was. And, you know, they just made one more shot than we did. I mean, we had the lead. You know, they made a run, we made a run, and then they went into the halftime up 3. But I just think it was a great, you know, game to watch, but we gave up too many second opportunities.
You guys shot the ball well, especially outside. Missed a bunch of those ones, maybe around the rim. Did you follow the offensive game plan that you had kind of set out? I mean, did you get the shots that you were hoping for tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got shots, and you know, I've told these guys, you know, obviously we talked about this plenty of times. We're not a 3-point shooting team, but if you have those shots, I want you to take them, and I give them credit. Those guys stepped up and made shots, and you know, when you talk about going 8 for 17 and shooting 47%. We followed the game plan. We just didn't do a good enough job of putting bodies on guys and blocking them out.
Kevin, you've talked all year about just the game in front of us, just the game in front of us, and now it's up in the air whether there is another game in front of you. How do you prepare these guys for a potential CBI, CIT game, and how do you take it if that call never comes? Well,
that's a great, you know, what we talked about in the locker room was, and obviously I have to give these guys a lot of credit because this is a bunch of, you know, group of players that hadn't had a lot of success in their career. And if you walk down to that locker room, you would understand that, you know, these guys took this loss very hard. And that made me feel good because winning is very important to these guys now. We talked about, I talked about the seniors that if this is your last opportunity, I wanted to thank those guys because of their effort. You got to understand preseason, we're picking number 9. You know, for us to be regular season champs and playing the Final Four, I mean, what they've done in this year is just incredible. And I don't know if we've given them enough credit for the turnaround that we've had and how hard these guys have played. You know, UNCW was used to playing on the first night and most time packing up and leaving, and these guys are winning games and they're champions right now. I talked about the young kids, if this is your last opportunity, to take advantage of it and understand that we'll have our opportunities to get back here in the future, and you know what lost us the game, never let it lose us to us again. So we talked about the rebound and stuff, and you know I think these guys have a great opportunity to play in a postseason tournament. I think we've earned it. You know, when you talk about winning 18 games and you look at our non-conference schedule, we'll probably play one of the toughest non-conference schedules in the country, meaning we played 8 road games to start the season. And I look around college basketball and you think about it, we played 4 revenue games and we still got 18 wins. These guys did a great job.
Okay, yeah.
Coach, the first game going double overtime, the delay and the tip-off, did that affect your guys in any way?
I don't think so. I really don't. I don't. You know, if anything, it probably helped both groups a little bit because we all got to rest for about another, 30 minutes or so. But I don't think so. I don't think that. And it's hard to tell. You can never look back and say what the deal is. But I don't think that was the case.
Okay. Anything else for him? All right. Thanks.
Thank you.